Hi, Gemini. This is your monthly April reading. So, this will be from April 1st to April 30th, 2020. For those of you who are new to my channel or you're just visiting, welcome to Amani's Light Work. Okay, so before I begin with your reading, I just want to say, send out my well wishes to you all during this time. If you are, pretty much maintaining your productivity, if you're working, if you out, whatever you're doing in your house, etc. Just always be safe and be aware of your surroundings at all times. Okay, so also if you have any keys to Akasha requests, if you need any home remedies, anything for yourself, if you have children, etc. If you would like a personalized reading, please feel free to contact me via my IG at AmaniIfe777, or you can send me a email to ifadivination777 at gmail.com. Okay, so let's see what energies are coming through for you for the month of April. All right, Gemini. So okay, Taurus. So the King of Pentacles energy is, sorry, not Taurus. I mean Gemini. Gemini, yes. The King of Pentacles. Maybe it's not a mistake. You could literally be dealing with a Taurus male, but just you are Gemini, okay? You got King of Pentacles energy is underneath, but I get taxes. So the King of Pentacles energy could be responsible for. I also get filing. They could be responsible for. They could be your tax preparer. U.S. government. They may work for. They could be. You know who's a Taurus? I think. What's the man? I think De Blasio. I think is a Taurus. I think Mayor de Blasio is a Taurus. You're dealing with stimulus checks, you're dealing with tax refunds and things of that nature. They could also be an accountant, they could be a banker, they could also be a lawyer, however you want to deal with this person, but need lawyer. So if you're dealing with a lawyer of any kind, you may need one for whatever reason. But I get taxes, so you may need a lawyer pertaining to some type of situation that you have going on with your taxes, etc. Just depends on your own personalized issue, whatever you're dealing with during this time in particular. If there's not anything going on the legal spectrum of things, then this person could be a friend, they could be a family member, whatever it is. That I get that's well versed. They could be a family member that's well versed, however you want to look at well versed, and they could be a tax preparer. They're well versed in governmental affairs. They're well versed in stocks and how to get in stocks, how to invest, how to do this, that, and the third. They're King of Pentacles energy, so I would understand if they're well versed in that financial, pretty much in this the financial spectrum, financial literacy, etc. I can understand if they're well versed in that area, and you just want to have a sit down. You want to have a sit down with them. They could be a coworker. You realizing that a coworker, yeah, I go overlooking. You realize that you may have a coworker that you've been overlooking, like a coworker, a business partner you may have been overlooking. Okay. So your starting point has the Nine of Wands energy. I had Leo. The Nine of Wands energy is a Leo, but the King of Pentacles. You could be dealing with Aries, Sag, whatever fire sign. I do feel like the King of Pentacles could have told you, gave you the heads up on the King of Pentacles energy underneath. Could be trying to give you the heads up into what fire sign information, what fire sign energies did, or what they're trying to do. I get to Aquarian, what they're trying to do to an Aquarian, what they trying to do, what they did with your information, or what they're trying to do with your information. Sell it. They're trying to sell your information. Doesn't have to be document information. Information could be information. What you write. Information could have something to do with what you write, what you type up, what you compose, what some type of paperwork that you have, or some type of creative, some kind of creative piece of something. It could be writing, it could be drawing, it could be music. music, whatever it is you have, the fire trying to get their hands on. The fire sign energies could be trying to get their hands on. If it's not anything creative, then it could be an actual document. It could also be an actual trying to sell. It could be a document they're trying to sell. So it could be yours, or I also was getting the Aquarian energies. It could be yours, but oblivious to. So when I said the Aquarian energy may be oblivious to that kind of interaction happening with their own things and the fire signs, or it's something that you need to tell them. So when I said that could be something that you need to tell the Aquarian. Is the Aquarian energy doing this to the fire signs? I get that they're orchestrating. I get that idea that the fire sign energies are the ones responsible for orchestrating some misuse of information. They're responsible for orchestrating some type of misuse of information, and the misuse of information is coming from something that belongs to you, that is private, that is yours, or something that is going on with the Aquarian. Their things get misused. Their things may get misused, and you may need to have a conversation with the Aquarian energy about their information being misused, but didn't know they had it. So I'm looking at the Nine of Wands. The Aquarian energy didn't know that fire sign energies have their things. The Aquarian, you're trying to tell the Aquarian energy, the fire sign energies have their things, or it could be you didn't know. Aquarian giving you that heads up. The Aquarian energy could be trying to give you that heads up that, hey, the fire sign energies have your documents, your drawings, your writings, your socials, your what's another situation of some your birth certificates, your whatever it is. The fire sign, the Aquarian is trying to give you the heads up that the fire sign energies have that, vice versa. But we help each other. So when I said vice versa, we help each other. You may help the fire signs. This could be a situation here where you may be helpful to the fire sign energies. You're helpful, you're not helpful to them, and it could have something to do with. It could have something to do. I'm not trying to make something obvious. It could have something to do with the Aquarian energies things. Or it could have something to do with the Aquarian energies things, but at the same time, you don't want to make something obvious that you do help the fire signs, but trying to stay on their good side. So you may be trying to stay on Aries' good side. You're trying to stay on Sag and Leo. You're trying to stay, but what they do to Aquarian, every time I go on these examples, it's something that's really interesting with what they do. Something they could literally be doing something to the Aquarian, or they could be or it has something to do with the Aquarian energies, documents and refunds and taxes and information of the sort. They disperse that does belong to the Aquarian. So I'm safeguarded. What's happening with that, you're on the outside looking into that is happening, but talk about it directly. You may talk about it directly, and you're on the outside looking into that same kind of situation happening, and you're trying to stay on the fires. You observe that it does happen to the Aquarian energy all the time with the fire sign. So what's happening, you're trying not to make something obvious. So you're trying to stay on the fire sign energy good side by continuing to help them, but they pay me. Continuing to help them, they may pay you, or the same, whatever. If the fire sign energies have something that is yours that you don't necessarily want them to have, or they misuse, whatever the situation is there, the Aquarian energy try to stay on their good side. The Aquarian energy may be trying to stay on the fire sign energy's good side, and they may not be. They could be on the sidelines observing some type of interesting situation happening between you and the fire sign energies with your things. So there's this element of needing to reveal the truth to each other. Aquarian energy needing to reveal the truth to you. You need to reveal the truth to, but Libra in the middle. So whatever is happening with the fire sign, a Libra could be in the middle of what's happening between Aquarian energies and fire sign. The Libra is in the middle of you being in, a Libra is in the middle of an issue that you have between you and the fire sign energies, but they often intervene. So if it's a Libra often intervenes. The Aquarian energy wants to intervene. The Aquarian energy wants to intervene. I do feel like trying not to. I feel like you're trying not to intervene because you're trying not to, because it has with your wallet. It has to do with your wallet. It has to do with the amount of money that you make, or the amount of money that you continue to make during this time. So it just depends on what's happening. So whatever it is that you observe that's happening to someone else, it benefits you. You're trying to say that it benefits you, that you observe, but it may not be right. Some part of it may not be right, and you may need to stand up for Aquarians and mediate. You need to stand up for the Aquarian, and that implies that you mediate the situation. But one element about it, you may not necessarily need to mediate the situation, because the Libra gave themselves that responsibility. Okay, The waiting position has the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords energy, like I said, the knights represent young adult energy. So you could be dealing with Libras, Aquarians. It could even be external Geminis, Aquarian energies that they're between 18 and 40 years old, or 18 and 30 something years old, but they get stolen from. So the air sign element gets stolen from. But they were once stealers. When I said they get stolen from, they were once stealers, or they may have once stolen something from you, but that's what the fire sign said. So they may have once, if it's the air sign energy, they may have once stolen something from you, or taken something from you, borrowed something from you without your permission. They asked you or they didn't ask you, or they were once that way. And that could be what the Nine of Wands energy in the starting point, that could be what the fire sign energies are trying to tell you. But that's why they want to help, or that could also be why you want to help the fire sign, or why you stay. That's why you stay with the fire sign, wanted to get back at air sign. You may have wanted to get back at the air sign. You may have wanted to. I don't know if the air sign element could have done something really interesting. Aries things. The air sign element could have done something really interesting, or the Aquarian, whatever air sign external, they could have done something really interesting with the Aries. The spirit said Aries. It could be Leo and whatever fire sign. They could have done some Sag. They could have done something really interesting with the external fire sign energies things before, and hired you. That could be something that the air sign element did to them. That could be why they're using you. I don't mean not necessarily using. You may not feel. Not use, like use you and I comply. Use you in the sense where you comply, not use you in the sense where your things, yes, they may have their things, yes, they may benefit, but I don't see. Yes, they may have their thing, yes, they may have your things, and yes, they may use your things, but there's also an element of not seeing how they're using it. It's also an element here as well. You're not seeing how the fire sign energies are using it. But we used to help Aquarian. So when I said they may have used to help the Aquarian, so this is like a chain reaction. What this feels like, there could be like a chain reaction of deception, lie. It could be a chain reaction of lies and deception, where I'll just run through this one more time before I go any further. What's happening here is that something that you observe, something that you are on the outside looking in, some type of interaction that fire sign energies have with Aquarian. I feel like something that is deceptive or it's not deceptive, but I do feel like whatever it is that you observe, that they just openly do with the Aquarian, or they don't tell the Aquarian, whatever it is, it may have once, the Aquarian energy may have once did that to you, or they may have once did that to that's why something's happening. So they may have once did that to you, or the Aquarian energy may have once did that to you, or the Aquarian energy may have once did that to the fire sign, and that's why something is chain reaction that is happening here. A deceptor, like some type of deceiving situation. So that's why something that's happening the way it is with deception and lies and people moving around information, people just moving around, or like hot potatoing information that belongs to people. If hot potatoing information that belongs to you, hot potatoing information, documents and things that belong to the Aquarian energy there. But that's why they keep leaving. So when I said that could be why the Aquarian energy keeps leaving, or they leave, or they take off, or they take breaks from work, or whatever it is that they do. They could be starting to find out something that is, because of a surveillance video, or like a tape, or a satellite, something that the air sign element external is finding out, that is at a conversation. They're finding out something because of a conversation. But one reason that it could be Libra, whatever air sign, one situation that's happening, the reason why they're finding out something that's happening with their things, I also get law, something is going on with them, with lawyers and law. It could be law enforcement and things of that nature. Something that's happening with them like that's odd, is because what the fire signs did. It has something to do with what the fire sign energies did, what they caught the air sign element doing with their things, or what they just caught the air sign element doing, period. How they feel. It has something to do with how they feel about that element. But how the air sign element external is finding that out is because of a replayed surveillance video. It has to do with them, how they finding out something is because a surveillance video is getting replayed. But the King of Pentacles energy asked them. The King of Pentacles energy, you could have asked the King of Pentacles energy underneath to replay. You could have asked them, or you could be on the outside looking in. You could be on the outside looking into. That's what the air sign element is doing with the King of Pentacles energy. The Taurus male, the Capricorn male, Virgo male. Replay this tape. Replay this conversation for me. Replay this surveillance video. This could be like outside of a home setting. This This could be on a computer. This could be in a workplace. This could be in a store, where in an office, wherever there is a wherever there's like a surveillance camera or surveillance tape that could be rolling, that could be replayed for the Aquarian, that could be replayed for the Aquarian, whatever air sign, or the Libra, whatever air sign element that's external. So, but why do they need? So when I say that also, why does the air sign element need to, why does the air sign element need to see, okay, why does the air sign element need to see, or why do they need to have a conversation replayed that was, okay, why do they need to have a conversation replayed that was picked up on a surveillance video or some type of recording? Why do they need to hear that? Reiterate that to fire sign. Why do they need to reiterate whatever it is that they're gathering from a video or tape or surveillance video? Whatever, they need it replayed. But the reason why they need it replayed is that they want to gather the information to reiterate that what you said. They want to gather that information to reiterate what you said to the fire sign energies there. So, but fear of losing jobs. So when I say that also, something could be going on there with a fear of losing a job, or being demoted, or being furloughed. Somebody has some type of really interesting you yourself may have a really interesting fear with losing position. You have a fear with losing a position, and the air sign element may be responsible for, that's why I said trying to stay on the fire sign energy good side, or trying to stay on the fire sign energy's good side. But what you said, it has something to do with what you said on a tape, what you said in a video, what you said in some type of recording. And the air sign element has that they gathered from you. So what's happening here, lose a spot. What's happening here is that you could be fearing that you lose your spot in favoritism with the fire sign. But have my documents. They have your documents, or they safeguard your documents and information for you, whatever it is. But you one situation here, but don't have a conversation with. One situation is that you could be using your intuition about a potential conversation that could end up happening between you and Libras, and you and Aquarians, whatever air sign, is going to get picked up. So a conversation that you feel like you need to have, ask to have. A conversation that you randomly are going to get, it could be by the fire sign. A conversation that I understand what's happening. A conversation that you may end up getting, a conversation that you may end up getting asked to have with is a setup. A conversation that you may be pulled aside to have with external air sign. The spirit said it's a setup. It's so that how the fire sign energies may want what you're doing. The fire sign energies may want to know what you're really doing, how you really feel, or what you took. They want to know what you took. They want to know what you did. They want to know what you said, whatever it is. But what they're doing is that I get heist. What they're doing is something as an element of a heist, where they're pulling the air sign they are pulling external air sign elements aside. I'm going to give you an outline of what you're going to talk about with external air sign element. I want you to run through this with the air sign. I want you to ask him or her these questions. So stand in this area where the camera is so that we can get it rolling. I want you to ask him or her these questions precisely, and make sure that he or she answers these questions back precisely. So, but some element about that. So that could be what happens to the Aquarian. That could happen to the Aquarian, or the Aquarian energy was set up to do that with you, or you were set up to do that with the Aquarian, or a Gemini and Libra. Somebody set up that to happen so that they can I'd save a company. Somebody set up something like that to happen so that they could save a business, save a company. So you could save your income. So you could save favoritism you're receiving from fire sign, but delete video. So saving some type of favoritism that you receive from fire sign, it has something to do with deleting a video, or either deleting a video, erasing a video, deleting a surveillance tape. And so it won't get out to media. So when I said that, so it won't get out to media, something that you did, something that you said, something that planned, something that, whatever it is, or some type of secret favoritism that you receive, from someone you don't want. Other coworkers, and you may not want other coworkers and colleagues to find out, and someone may be revolting in the workplace. Air sign element may want to revolt because of that. It could be on them, or somebody could have set them up to do that with you, on you, or you were asked to do that to the air sign. Or the air sign was asked to do that. The air sign was asked to do that. Okay, you could either be doing this together with the air sign on the fire sign, or the fire sign energies ask external air sign elements to do this on you, or you just observe that that happens all the time between fire sign and between Aries and Aquarius. You observe that that happens between Leo and Sag and external Gemini, Libras, and Aquarian energies. There something happens. They get set up all the time. They just get set up all the time. However you want to look at setup, they get set up all the time. They get watched all the time. They're whatever it is that they do on video that they think is really private. It gets somebody watches it all the time. Somebody replays. Somebody saves a video or surveillance video and records whatever. They save that information for later. So that could be something that happens to you, but it also has something to do with saving a company. So someone may want to know who to let go. Someone may want to know who to let go. They maybe want to know who to let go. They need a reason. They can't just let certain people go. They can't just let you go. They can't just let the air sign element go without evidence. They can't just let air sign element go without evidence. Somebody needs evidence. You need evidence. The fire sign, somebody needs evidence before they decide to let somebody go. Whatever, let somebody go. But letting somebody go means it implies that it means that a company will be saved. A business will be saved. Business deal will be saved if they find out who's throwing it under the bus. If they find out the source of who's throwing a company or a business under the bus. Somebody could be doing that intentionally or unintentionally. So it could be the fire signs or the Aquarian. It could be the Aquarian or whatever air sign energy that's external. Or somebody may have that thought about you. Because of their deception. Someone may have that thought about you because of something may have been deceptive that you did. That you said, whatever it is. But if someone keeps you somewhere, for example, if someone keeps you somewhere, someone decides to save you, someone decides to save you, have you working and staying somewhere for however a couple more years. When I say that a couple more years, you may stay somewhere. You may stay somewhere, work somewhere for a couple more years. Don't really want that to happen. So I'm looking at the Knight of Swords. They don't really want a couple of months, couple of weeks. Someone doesn't really want that to happen for you. Do you not really want that to happen? But it worked. You didn't want that to happen for someone. So something that you did in the past may have worked that you did to the air sign or the fire sign. And something that could have happened to you, the air sign element set up something to happen to you like that. The air sign set up something like that to happen with you, fire sign. The air sign external set up something like that to happen with you with the fire sign energy. Or that you on the outside looking into. That is what happened. You did that with the fire sign on the external air sign. The air sign energy observed that happen. The air sign energy is observing that happened with you. That's happening with that happened to you, or that's happening with you with the fire sign energy. Whatever it is. Something that happens to the air sign element all the time in the past, or something that's happening now, or whatever it is. Interesting. The present has the Four of Swords energy is here, so. Four of Swords is your energy and that of other airs, but they're depressed. So other air sign elements external may be suffering from some type of depression, but it's subtle. Something may be subtle about their depression. So it could be Aquarians and whatever air sign element external, something subtle about their depression. But that may be if you could be dealing with that. I mean, depression or some air of sadness, or it's a four, so it's not something that lasts for a while. I don't know if you are dealing with those kind of things yourself personally or the external, but what they found out, the external air sign may be dealing with that, but it's subtle, but it has something to do with what they found out, what they're finding out, what they found out, what was told to them, what you potentially would end up telling them that you heard the fire sign energies talking about what they asked. It has something to do with what the fire sign energies asked you to do. So all of that somehow is getting wind back to the air sign element external. It's getting wind back to them. The company and their work ethic in the company, or in the past, their work ethic in a company in the past. Their work ethic, but it's as with something somebody may not even have noticed, or somebody may not even have noticed something that but were being overlooked. They were being overlooked all the time, or they still are, or you being overlooked, whatever it is. I'll go with the external air sign first. They were being overlooked. Not overlooked. That could be a possibility. Overlooked, or either overlooked, or they were overseen. Like somebody may have been overseeing something that they were doing all the time. And something about somebody overseeing, they didn't know. Someone overseeing something that they were doing all the time. So they didn't know that was happening. But it's because of cameras and surveillance videos and things of that nature. They didn't know that was so some part they may have known, but conversation they may have known, but they may not have been thinking that something's really important about a conversation. So some type of it could have something. The conversation, like I had discussed, the conversation could have to do with some type of feeling of disgust that they did have about the constructs of a business deal or a company. But somebody set up someone like specifically so to get them to say something bad about the company. Okay, somebody set up a conversation. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Somebody set up. It could be the fire sign, whatever. Somebody set up someone to have a conversation. Somebody set up someone to have a conversation with the external air sign so that they would break down and say how they really feel about a company or a business deal, whatever setting is. So that someone would break down and say it, whatever it is. That's why I said giving somebody an outline of questions to explain, or a list of questions for them to answer. But they it's like an interview, but it's like an interview, but they don't realize that is what they're saying is being like somebody has a camera hidden somewhere that is calculating that's watching that's picking up that footage, picking up that voice, or picking up their voices on the video or the camera, whatever it is. But somebody did that on purpose. Somebody did that on purpose so that they won't. Somebody did that on purpose so that they may have deemed them to be making. They may have deemed the air sign element external to be messing up the way a company is, or they may not have agreed. They may not have agreed with the constructs of a business deal. And they may have had somebody set up someone to have a conversation with them about how they feel about something going on in the business deal, so that they would reveal how they really do feel. But why do that also? So the Four of Swords in the present, why do that? Is someone doing that to you? Is someone you're observing that's happening to the air sign element, or that happened to the air sign? So either happened already, or it's happening, or it's going to happen to the external air sign element. Whatever it is, you know. But someone just wants to know, I keep how they really feel. Someone just wants to know how they really feel. Could be love and things intertwined in that as well. Someone just wants to know how someone really feels about something. And it could be something included in there that someone could have said about a boss. You said about a boss, a friend, another coworker, a manager, whatever it is. You know? The future has the Ten of Swords. All these swords energies are here. And the instincts has the Ace of Swords. All these swords energies. Your energy is really prominent in this reading, in this case, in this situation. But they deserve. So when I say that they do deserve, I'm touching the Knight of Swords. The air sign element external deserves. Or it's you deserve something from fire, an apology. You may be feeling like you deserve an apology either from external air sign or fire sign, or you're on the outside looking in. The air sign element may want an apology. External air sign element may want an apology from you, or they indirectly want an apology from you, or they want that from a fire sign subconsciously. They subconsciously want that from a fire sign. The reason for the indirect, and that don't want someone to figure out that they may not want you to know, or fire sign energy external to know that they are aware of a plan, or they were aware, set up conversation. They don't want you or these external fire sign energies to know that they actually are aware of a set up conversation that was on them. They actually were aware. But not in the beginning. I don't feel like they were aware of it in the beginning. I feel like someone may have given them that. Okay, someone, it could be you. You could have given them a heads up that, hey, somebody set up this to happen to you. You know what I mean? You could have given them heard that happen to them. You either did that, or you just heard that did happen to them. Someone did that had remorse. Someone that had remorse pulled them aside, called them, text them, whatever, emailed them, whatever it is. Pulled them aside to tell them that somebody set up a conversation to happen with them like that. Someone set up a conversation to happen with you like that. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? But I get this idea of working from home, or like it could be like that could be happening to them, or you, or whatever, fire sign. The reason for it, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Or something could be going on with being furloughed and things of that nature. So at somebody, the situation with it is like something happened behind the scenes. Okay, something deep happened behind the scenes with certain. However, I mean, a lot of people are dealing with this situation, but somebody's particular workplace is has something designed where it's like they want certain people to come in. They have something designed where they want certain people to come in, or they want certain people to walk, like have like be able to come into the workplace, physically come into it. And they have it sectioned off for certain people to work at home. And that can be what happen all the time. That can be what happened to the air sign element external all the time. But it's the reason for it is really interesting. The reason for example, if somebody goes into work, if somebody's like an essential worker, or they just go into work, I mean, I'm a demon to be essential, whatever it is. If somebody goes in to like a workplace, if somebody goes in, not seeing, somebody may not be, why? Somebody isn't really seeing why they're going in for work, or why they're at home for work, or why they're, whatever the setting is, or why business slow. Someone doesn't realize why something is slowing down about their business, or their organization, their company, whatever. Someone doesn't realize why something is slowing. Do you not realize? Is something slowing with you with the fire sign? Is something slowing with the external, it could be money flow. It could be revenue. It could, whatever it is, something is slowing. Or something is slowed, whatever it is. Someone doesn't realize why it's slowing down. You know what I mean? Someone isn't realizing why. I keep getting conversation. Is something slowing down because of a conversation? Because of a conversation that was had. And the conversation is either the conversation, I keep in this idea of distasteful also. Something could be distasteful about a conversation, but the conversation could either be like slow a business. The conversation also it happened because somebody wanted a business to slow down. Or something that you do in a business, somebody subconsciously wanted something. Okay, somebody subconsciously wanted something that you do in a business or a business deal to slow down. Or something the air sign element does, something the external air sign element does in a business, or anything that they do from home, something that they do from home or in a business. Somebody did something to get it to slow down, but it has something to do with a conversation. It has something to do with a conversation, or I get an assistant. It has something to do with an assistant, or the air sign element external assistant. They could be your assistant or their friend. What business slowed down? They're a friend that they're telling you what happened to them that caused their business to slow down. So slow down in the sense where they used to go in for work. Slow down, you went in for work. Slow down, like they working from home. Don't realize they don't need to be. They don't realize that they don't need to be working from home. Or they don't realize that they don't need to go in for work, or they can, but they're not, but their conversation weren't picked. I get this idea. That's why I'm trying to understand a construct here. Somebody wasn't picked to it's a situation here where somebody wasn't picked to go in or be in. This is like somebody did some type of really interesting choosing for people to go in or be in somewhere. It's interesting. But the Ace of Swords and the instinct, finding that out. The Ace of Swords is in the instincts. You're finding that out that happened to you. You find out that happened to air sign external with fire sign. But they're demanding. So some interesting demand that the fire sign energy had behind the scenes is the reason why you're working at home. Is the reason why external air sign working at home, or either working at home or going in. It's somebody had some type of. But one reason for it is because I keep getting distasteful conversation. It has something to do with a distasteful conversation. Something that's distasteful about a conversation that somebody heard, a boss heard. A manager heard. Another coworker, colleague said something to a boss or manager. Someone was distasteful. But somebody isn't aware. Someone doesn't know that something that they did say was distasteful. Okay, someone doesn't realize that something that they did say that was deemed to be distasteful, it got reiterated back to the wrong person or higher up or something. Whatever it is. The accomplishment has the Two of Pentacles energy is there next to the Nine of Wands. So the two still making money. You're still making money. Did you say something? Did you say something distasteful? I got another coworker. You may have said something distasteful or that's not right about another coworker, and they could have said something to the boss, And that could be why that could be why they're in the position that they're in. So either somebody said something strange about you, somebody said something strange about you, you said something strange about someone. But whatever position you're in now, okay, whatever situation, the circumstance that you're in now, something or the air sign, something, it has something to do with a conversation that happened behind the scenes and got reiterated back to someone. And that person that it got reiterated back to made a decision to split off people and have certain people be in a particular setting. But someone doesn't realize something interesting that's going on with a letter also. Or some type what the letter is saying, or what a letter, somebody receive a letter, don't understand it. Someone receive a letter, but they really don't understand why they need it, why they have it. Do you not understand why you're receiving a letter? The external air sign doesn't understand why they need a letter, or why they have the letter, what the reason for the letter is. They don't understand the reason for the letter. Do you not understand the reason for a letter? Some type of letter. Whatever. But the Two of Pentacles is here in the accomplishment next to the Nine of Wands. And you're still making money and whatever with the fire. You could be doing it with the fire sign, but out of their place. You could be doing it with the fire sign out of their place. Like out of their place, meaning out of their home, out of their private office, out of their whatever the setting is. You're doing it out of their place. But they don't know that. You're doing it out of the fire sign energy's place, or out of your place, but the Knight of Swords doesn't know, the Knight of Swords external doesn't know that. Or they're doing something out of their place with fire sign and you don't know that. Whatever it is that's going on there. The Ten of Cups energy is right next to this it's in the spiritual self, thinking about family. You maybe think they could be a family member that you deal with them like that, or so they could be just telling you something that happened to them. If they could be family, or the Ten of Cups, or they're a coworker or something. The Ten of Cups is in the spiritual self. You're thinking about family, and the Knight of Swords could be your energy. And you may want to travel to go tell a family member something that happened to you, whatever it is. You know, you may want to tell a family member the reason for something. You want to tell a family member the reason for why something is going on with you that's really interesting. You know, or you want to tell what a boss did. You want to tell a family member what you heard a boss did to someone else, or what a boss did to you, or what a boss or another coworker, a colleague did. You want to tell a family member that. An external air sign element could be a family member, or there's a friend or another coworker, whatever it is that they are. But you want to share something, like vent to. You want to vent to family. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an interesting scenario, like a dialogue, where you like, hey, hey sis, I got a letter from my job. Can you read it for me? Can you tell, sis, I got a letter from my job. Can you read it for me? I don't understand why I need to have it. But allowing you to do so. When I said that, also the spirit agrees with the mock dialogue, is like it's something that has something to do with what you're allowed to do, something you're allowed to do or not allowed to do, but it's in a letter that you're receiving, or is in a letter that air sign element external is receiving. Telling your family, I received this letter to do this, that, and the third. I'm going to be able to do this, that, and the third, or I'm not going to be able to do this, that, and the third. But the letter is direction. It's giving you some type of interesting direction, or the air sign element is external, but don't realize why they're receiving it. Someone just doesn't realize why they're receiving it. You don't realize why you're receiving it. I'm trying to understand. So the spirit keeps keeping me on the idea of the letter. So this is like this is like receiving limited benefits. So this is like receiving like a letter, but the issue with the letter is the letter is explaining something is limited about the amount of benefits that someone is receiving, the amount of benefits you're receiving, external air sign receiving. It has something to do with something is limited about the benefits, or it's not all there. Something isn't all there about the benefits that are included in a letter or in a package. It's like it's not all there. It's somebody not all there. It's something not all. It's something isn't all there. You know what I mean? Something isn't all there because of a conversation. Something isn't all there because of a conversation. It could be a thought you have about somebody. Like you could be saying that someone isn't all there. It's something going on with a conversation like that. Or that's why I said distasteful. That could be the part of the conversation that could have been distasteful. Or something isn't all there in like a packet, like is coming in the mail, but it's because of a conversation that may have been distasteful. And it could have something to do with a budget cuts and and some type of cut off of a benefit that you're supposed to receive, or that, but has the reason for this is like getting something in the mail and being confused into why something specific is missing from it. Whatever it is, and you're like, well, why is this missing? Why is this what do you call those things that coworkers receive? Why is this why are these employee benefits, why I only receive a little bit of why did I only receive a little bit of this? But somebody overheard a conversation that you had that was odd. Whatever. But it came from your job, it came from external air sign element job. It's interesting. That's why the Four of Swords energy is there, you know. The Nine of Cups energy is in the what do you call this? The Nine of Cups energy is in the mentality here with the Ace of Swords. You know, Nine of Cups, you got water sign. You could be dealing with water sign energies here as well. But they have something. The water sign energies have something. They have all of what they need. They may have all of what they need in a I keep getting employee. It's something that's going on. It has something to do with an employee benefit card, an employee benefit, like a gift card. It could be gift things like that, or like a packet of stuff, like a packet of benefits, or like a pack of benefits, you know, money and what else, resources and things of that nature. You know, they may have everything. They may have given, or they may have been mailed out everything, like everything intact, but you weren't, or external air sign wasn't. And somebody doesn't understand. Someone doesn't understand. But it's because of a camera, or a setup conversation. Or if it's not a camera and picking up some type of conversation, then it's like a setup conversation. It's a setup conversation. Somebody set up a conversation to happen like that. But it has to do so they would get more. It has to do also, so it could be so that the water sign or fire sign, it could be so that they would get more. So that they would get more of something than you, or than external air sign. So it's like if somebody's missing out on some type of benefit, it's whatever it is that was I keep getting distasteful conversations and distasteful. Something that they did was distasteful. A boss, as simple as that. Something that a coworker did was distasteful that a boss didn't like. So what's happening is that the boss or the manager, whatever, or the head of a company or whatever, they put together packages for certain people. And someone was taken out, or they just weren't given. Someone was taken out, or air sign just wasn't given. But the boss or whoever but just didn't like them. Somebody just didn't like the external air sign. So what they did was they set up something to happen so that they would make a mistake, or they set up someone to talk to them and ask them this, that, and the third question. But it was being recorded. But what's happening is that their benefit, something that they're supposed to receive, they may be stumped into the reason, like, why didn't mine get mailed out to me? And that could be happening to you, or that's happening to the external air sign. But you're realizing that given their portion, you could be realizing that the water sign energy was just given their portion. They were given external air sign element, that the boss, supervisor, the head of it, whatever, they gave something that's supposed to be for the external air sign. They gave it to the water sign. They may favor the water sign. They may favor one of the water sign elements. You favor one of the water sign. It could be you. It could be you that's doing that. Something interesting like that, or however you want to look at it. It could be like this could be happening in a workplace. This could be happening in a family environment with gifts and people and favoritism and whatever it is. As simple as that. Whatever the environment that is happening in. You know. Well, the basis of it is something that's going on. Someone made a mistake with saying something distasteful, or something was distasteful about a conversation, but it's like a setup conversation. It's like it's an obvious setup of a conversation. Somebody doesn't know that it's a setup of a conversation, whatever it is. The Seven of Wands energy is in a changing position. Not arguing with them anymore. So you're not arguing with the fire sign energy anymore. or the external air but realize something. The external air sign element realize something. They're not arguing with the fire sign energy anymore. They're not arguing, but letting them do what they want to do. They're just letting the air sign do whatever they want to do. You do whatever you want to do, or you letting them do whatever they want to do. You're on the outside looking at how they treat people. You're on the outside looking into how the fire sign energies are treating people, how they're treating certain people somewhere, how they're treating external air sign elements somewhere, how they're treating you somewhere. How they're treating somebody somewhere. Doesn't only have to be air sign. It could be whatever zodiac. But the air sign elements are coming through external, are coming through heavily. Like Aquarians and get cheated out. They get cheated out of something. But it's really what's interesting about the cheated out is that this is like being given this really interesting to somebody's idea of doing something in a really interesting way. It's like showing somebody it's like giving somebody favoritism, or giving somebody I get a welcome, also giving somebody a welcoming someone. Something's fake about a welcome. Something's fake about some type of welcoming that someone is experiencing. Someone's fake about it. Someone's fake about it. You know what I mean? I understand. I understand what's happening now. I understand. What's fake about the welcoming... Okay, I understand. What's fake about the welcoming is that if somebody... Okay, this is really interesting. If somebody goes in for work for like this time period, up until the summer, somebody goes in for this time period up until the summer, however long, what's happening with it is that let them go after. They're going to let somebody work for like a long period of time, like during this time or however long. They're gonna let them work for a long, but somebody may be thinking favoritism. Somebody may be thinking that that's a form of favoritism. Is really not. But they're letting somebody work for like up until a certain time, and then they're gonna let them go. And that could be what heard. That could be what you heard. That could be what you heard that the fire sign said said to you directly, or about someone, or that's a conversation that could be a part of the distasteful conversation, or that could be what's happening to the air. That could be what's currently happening, or that happened to the air sign external. So someone's thinking that they're receiving some type of favoritism and benefit by being asked to be. Or I get feeling important. Someone may feel important, but they don't. It's something's fake about the feeling important. Whatever it is, something's fake about it. Isn't real about it. They're gonna let somebody's plan is to let somebody go after. However you want to let somebody go after, like permanently let them go after. But that's the plan. Permanently let somebody go after. That's a plan. It's interesting. Really interesting. So I'll give you a perfect example. That's like an essential person working, but it's like gonna let go after somebody has a plan in their brain in the back of their head to let them go after, which is really messed up. The 5 of Wands energy is in the resolution going towards the 10 of Wands. Okay, the 5 of Wands. So I mean, with that situation, just letting somebody work. Somebody may want to do that on their own, but don't realize the setup. Someone may want just doing it on their own. They don't realize some element is just like a setup there. But the 5 of Wands is in the resolution arguing for. You're arguing for somebody. The 10 of Swords is your energy and their feelings. The 10 of Swords is the external air sign element feeling. Is your feeling about them. Is your own feeling of yourself. Whatever it is. Or the fire sign. How you feel what they did. How you feel about what the fire sign energy thinking. Their thought. What they shared with you. What they did. What they set up. To happen to external air sign. To happen to you. I don't feel like it's happening to onlooker. I feel like you're like an onlooker. And I feel like someone could be venting to you. Or you're venting to your own family about shadiness. You're venting to your own family about shadiness. Whatever it is that you observe that another coworker is dealing with. A friend is dealing with. Whatever it is. Or someone observes something really interesting that's happening to you. Whatever. It's interesting. You know what I mean? It's really interesting. Alright, let's look for outcome here, Gemini. So basically, this is like working. This is like, it doesn't even have to be essential or whatever it is. This is just regular working. This is just regular working and making a stamp on a situation. But it's like just being torn away from it after the fact. You're like, what was all that work for? You know what I mean? You're like, the 5 of Wands is there. What did I do all of this for? just to be let go, whatever. Or that's the air sign element, external thought. Let go, or leave of absence, or furlough, whatever it is you want to call it. Temporary leave of absence, or what they don't need. Temporary leave of absence someone doesn't need. Do you not need that? You know? Whatever it is. Someone just be doing that on their own, but disturbing someone just doing that on their own, and but it's disturbing. It may be disturbing something that is going on that they in a business, you know. But the Ace of Pentacles energy is an outcome, and you could be looking for new work, you know. But heard that happened to another coworker or a new coworker. So you heard something happened to like that with a coworker or a new coworker, or it could be a new coworker. This could be happening in a new job that you have, and you're hearing about these setups and things, but it doesn't make any sense. You're hearing about the setups, and something about it doesn't make any sense to you. Something about it doesn't, and you could be a part, like I said from the beginning, you could be a part of benefiting, or somebody may favor you, but not external air sign. Someone may favor you, but maybe not external air signs, or something could be happening to you like that. And you're talking to your family about what's happening. As simple as that. All right, Gemini, let me know how it resonates. Be well. Take care. Bye.